All right, let's dive into the world of legal tech today, but with a bit of a twist. We're going to look at a company that isn't just trying to build another faster, shinier AI tool for lawyers. Nope. They're trying to fundamentally change the entire game by creating a whole new strategic layer in how big companies handle their legal operations. Let's see how they're pulling it off.
So, to really get what they're doing, we have to start with the core problem they're built to solve. And it's a question that keeps CFOs and general counsels staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. Where on earth is all that money going? And that, right there, brings us to our first big idea. For most large companies, legal spending has just ballooned. It's become this massive, uncontrolled cost that's draining the business. It's basically a financial black hole.
And I'm not kidding. We are talking about billions of dollars every single year. But here's the thing. It's not just about lawyers having high hourly rates. The real engine driving this cost is something way deeper. It's chaotic data and processes that are almost always reactive instead of proactive.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. This slide shows you exactly where the money gets torched. It's in all the messy, super labor-intensive work. Discovery, trying to piece together the facts, reviewing mountains of documents. The problem starts with disorganized data, long before a law firm ever gets the call. That's the expensive, hidden stuff that makes the final bill so painful.
Okay, so you've got this huge problem. Naturally, technology tries to swoop in, right? And this has led to what we're seeing now, the rise of the first wave of AI assistants, which, have gotten a ton of buzz and a ton of funding.
And their goal is incredibly simple and direct. You look at tools like Harvey, which everyone's talking about, and they're designed with one main purpose in mind: help lawyers do the work they're already doing, just faster. And let's be totally clear, these tools are a huge deal. They really are a meaningful advance. They make lawyers way more efficient at things like drafting documents, doing research, summarizing cases. But, and this is a big but, these tools only get involved after a case is already up and running. But this is where the whole story takes a sharp turn. A company called Advantage Legal and Fiduciary is basically built on the idea that these first-wave tools, as powerful as they are actually solving the wrong problem.
In this question, this is the absolute heart of their entire strategy. They argue that the real win isn't about helping a lawyer work faster once they're inside the law firm. No, the biggest leverage, the true fiduciary move that's actually in the client's best financial interests, is found before you even hire the law firm. It's all about prevention, not just a faster cure.
And this slide just lays it all out plain and simple. It's not an imitation of what's out there, it's a totally different architecture. You see, on one hand, typical legal AI treats the symptoms, like slow research. On the other hand, Advantage goes straight for the root cause, the messy data and the lack of a coherent strategy that create all that work to begin with.
So that brings us to their solution. Instead of building yet another tool for lawyers, they've built something they call a new strategic layer. They're not just trying to play the game better, they're acting as the architect of a whole new game.
And this is the absolute key concept: a strategic intelligence layer. The best way to think about it is like an air traffic control tower. It sits in this really unique spot. It takes in all of a company's raw, chaotic data and then refines it before it ever gets handed off to a super expensive law firm.
And this shows you how it actually works. So picture this. A company is facing a big lawsuit. Normally, lawyers would spend hundreds of hours digging through years of old emails and documents. Instead, Advantage's platform just ingests all that chaos, synthesizes it, and helps shape a clear strategy from day one. It spits out these structured, attorney-ready materials. So the law firm starts with a massive head start, skipping weeks, maybe even months, of that costly, painful fact-finding phase.
So you're probably wondering, how did they actually build this thing? Well, it's not what you'd think. This isn't a company that built its own AI engine from the ground up. It's all based on a really, really smart partnership.
Here's the breakdown. There's a company called Xantaz, and they provide the heavy-duty AI processing and data infrastructure. They are the engine. But Advantage L&F, they build and own the client-facing dashboard, the strategy, and the workflow. They are the architect.
So here's the crucial point. Advantage owns the entire client relationship and all the intellectual property that actually gets the job done. We're talking the dashboard, the user experience, and their secret sauce, these embedded strategy blueprints. This makes their platform incredibly defensible. They're not just reselling someone else's tech.
And because of this really unique structure, something profound happens to their business model. They're able to shift from being a traditional consulting firm into something much, much more valuable.
The old model for pretty much any high-end advisory firm is simple. You sell time. You bill for your expertise by the hour. And look, it's a model that's worked for centuries, but your growth is always limited by the number of hours in a day. But this new model, it's a total game changer. By embedding all their expertise into a software platform, Advantage is no longer just selling time. They are selling a system. They're selling a way to gain control over the chaos, to orchestrate these super complex legal matters, and to deliver results you can actually measure.
And this is why the C-suite and investors get so excited about this. For a company's general counsel, it means lower spending and way less risk. For the CFO, it finally means predictable costs instead of those shocking, out-of-the-blue legal bills. And for investors, well, they see a scalable, high-growth platform, not just another consulting firm.
So let's bring it all home with this final comparison. It just perfectly captures the difference. One type of AI makes the existing legal work go faster. Advantage's platform aims to just eliminate the need for a huge chunk of that work in the first place. And that really leaves us with a powerful final thought. Maybe the real problem all along was never about how fast lawyers can work. Maybe it's always been about the lack of a clear, intelligent strategy before they even get started. By building a platform to own that strategic layer, Advantage is making a huge bet that the future belongs not to the fastest worker, but to the smartest architect. So the real question is, who gets to control that blueprint?